Well, hello everyone, I hope you're doing just fine, because today we're going to see how you can upload data onto your projects. Right, so the first thing I'll do is actually look for my project. So here I'm going to start with my E57 sample project. It's going to be that one. When you've found your project, just go right here and click on the little cogs. That will open the projects edition page that opens by default when you create a project. Here what we'll have to do is go into add files, and here you'll find two drop boxes. The first one is sources, so these are the point clouds that you're going to upload. So RCP, LIS, 57, XYZ, and BPF. That is also where you'll upload your shape files, and then down below into the resources you will find also point clouds that you can upload, and all of your 3D models and DXF that you will upload down there. The idea is pretty simple. At the top right here into sources, you will upload files that are not supposed to be moved inside of the viewer, and the resources are files that can be moved if necessary in the viewer. So in our case, as we're going to be uploading an F57 for that first one, we'll go into sources. You can use the timeline of the video just below to switch from one file type to another so that you can go forward to the file type that is interesting to you. Here the E57 will either click on source and that will open the window to go and look for our E57, or you can drag and drop it directly. It's basically as you want. Here I'll just click on it and search for my E57. Here is my E57. I'll just click on it and click on open. You can see it has been added to the source category, and you don't have literally anything to click except, if you wish, save origin file. What this will do if you click it is it will upload the 57 as it is so that you can download it afterwards later on, and also upload the transformed version that will be used to be viewed in the viewer. So the save origin file is going to allow you to use ATIS.cloud not only as a viewing platform but also as a storing platform where you can retrieve your original files later on. For the example, I will check save original file. You have literally nothing else to do, so you just have to go down and click on send files. But before you do that, you can select whether or not you want to receive an email when the file is ready. If you check this, that means that you will be receiving an email once the file has been uploaded. If you don't, then you won't receive an email, but the file is still going to upload the same way. Then you click on send files and enter upload. So you can either enter it by hand like this, or you can copy this and then pass it right here. It's pretty much the same thing. And then you click on add. The file is going to be sent, so here you can see awaiting. You have to wait for it to be sent before you can leave the page. So here you can see sometimes it takes some time to lift off the 0, and then it goes quicker to 100%. Now the file has been sent, so you can see the little checkbox, and this window has opened. So you can just click on OK. What I recommend you to do is either press Ctrl F5 or just reload the page using the button up there. So just click on it and continue. Once the page has reloaded, what you can do is go into files, and here you will find your file being uploaded. So you can see here's my file, and its status is uploading. So that means that the file is not yet ready to be seen in the viewer. It is just currently in process in our servers. If you've checked the receive an email option, then once the file is ready, you'll receive an email and the status will be checked. Otherwise, just reload the page from time to time or come back in a few minutes, few hours, depending on the size. Here I'll come back in a few minutes to see when the file is actually okay. So you'll have to reload the page every time for the status to update. Here my E57 has now uploaded, and I can see that I have images inside of it and that it is a structured point cloud. Now bear in mind, with the E57 or recap file, it will not always be the case. Sometimes you will not have images, and sometimes it will not be a structured file. In this case, this point cloud was taken by Pharaoh laser scan, and so it is a structured one and it takes images, and so I have them inside of my E57. So now if I go to the viewer, I will be able to view both my point cloud and my images together. Here I'll select 3D view so I can see my point cloud, which is right here, and all of the blue bubbles are the images that I can also visualize. So if I just double click on them, you can get inside of the image, control scroll to change to view the point cloud, or scroll up to see the image back. And so that's how you upload an E57. It is really the most simple way to go. It's like one file, you upload it, and you have everything. The E57 for that is the best. The RCP is not too far behind because it's just a zip file that you have to upload, but then the render is basically the same. When it comes to LES, if you don't have images, it's going to be as easy. However, if you do have images, is going to take a bit more time. For the second file, we'll see how to upload an RCP. So you do the same thing, you just have to click on this zone and then find your RCP. So that in my case it is this one, so I'll just select it, open it, and here you can see you have a few more options. Now, because the file is actually a zip file, you have to tell the platform what kind of file this is. If it is an RCP, which in our case it is, if it's a shape file, which we will see later, or if it's just another file that should be uploaded as a zip and be kept on the site. So here in my case, I'll click on RCP RCS zip because that's what that is. Here very quickly, I'll show you what an RCP is supposed to be made of. So here I have my zip. If I double click on it to open it, you will see that inside of it, I have a recap folder, which is an optional. You can have directly this if you want. So either you have a folder that contains the RCP and the support folder, or you can have the RCP and the support folder directly at the top right here in the zip. It doesn't matter, both ways are going to work just fine. So you need to have the support folder, don't touch anything, just take the support folder and the RCP file, zip them together, and then upload this zip onto the platform. Just like for the 57, if you wish to keep the original file, so the zip, you can click on this button and that will allow you to keep the zip file on the side. Now that we've selected that, we can go back down and same thing, select if we wish to receive an email at the end of the conversion or not, and just send the files. Here I'll just go upload, copy, pass it, and click on add. Once again, from time to time, it takes some time to lift off from the 0, but then it goes progressively towards the 100% when it's actually ready. Do not leave this page until there is a little checkbox here and the percentage has reached 100. The file has now been uploaded, so I can close this window. To see the status of your file, what you'll have to do is press Ctrl F5 and then enter to confirm this, or press on the little arrow that is just at the top right here. Then you go into Files and see the status of your file. Here we can see that the zip file has already been uploaded, because as soon as the upload finished on this page, then the zip file was ready on that page because there is no transformation to do. Now, the transformed version, the 57, that still has some process to do before it's visible onto ATIS.cloud. If you've checked the receive email option, then you will receive an email at the end of the conversion when the file is ready, just like with this status. Otherwise, just come back from time to time, every 10-20 minutes or every hour or so, depending on the size of your file. It has now been a few minutes, and you can see once I reloaded my page that my RCP has been uploaded. So now the status is green. I can see that I have images inside of my RCP, so I'll be able to visualize them into the viewer, and also I can see that it is a structured point cloud. Now if I click go to viewer, my file will actually load. I select 3D view, and right here you can see this is my RCP that has been uploaded, and I have the 360 images as we've seen in the project edition page. So now if I get inside of it, I'll have my 360 image that is here. Obviously this is a reconstructed 360 image. As we said before, as we uploaded it into source and not resource, we won't be able to move the file around, which is good because now we have the actual position of the project. If you have the georeferencement, that information will be kept, and so not being able to move it around will allow you not to lose that georeferencement and keep the actual position. For the LAS, same thing as the two others, it will go into source. You just click on it and then select your LAS file, which my case is right here, and I'll click on open, and now you can see my LAS is ready. As for the 57, you literally have nothing to click except the save original file if you wish to keep your actual LAS on the side and be able to download it all together later on. Otherwise, you will still be able to use clipping boxes. Once you're ready to make your upload, just go down there. You can select if you wish to receive an email when the file is ready to be viewed, and then you can just click on send file. Once again, I'll go Ctrl C, Ctrl V to pass it, and click add. The file is going to send. That one was a really small file, so you can see it sent in a few seconds, and so here I can just click OK, reload the page, Ctrl F5, continue, and then I'll go into files right here, and you can see the file is currently uploading. It will be available in a few minutes, and I'll be able to visualize it in the viewer. After a few minutes, I have reloaded my page right here, and so now the status has been updated to active. So now I can visualize my LAS file onto my viewer. You can see that I don't have images for my LAS file because that is technically not possible to have just an LAS file with images, and same thing, the point cloud is not structured. It is an LAS, so you cannot have structure with an LAS. However, it is possible to add 360 images afterwards, and we'll see that in another video. Now, if I want to visualize my point cloud, what I have to do is just simply click on go to viewer. It will load the page and show me my point cloud. Right here, you can see I have my LAS that has been uploaded, so it's just part of a tower that was scanned, and so now I have it right here. I cannot move it around because it's a source and not a resource. If you wish to be able to move it around, check out the link in the description to see how you can interact with resources. To finish off with the source, we're going to talk about the shape files, and here I'm not going to click on it to open it before I'll actually show you something. So here is the window where I have all of my files, and here you can see I have a zip file of all of Toulouse. If I double click on this to open it, you will see that inside of it I have multiple shape files all together. Okay, so all of the water are together with all of the same name, and there's just the extension that changes, but this will not work. I'll show you. If I try to upload this directly with all of the shape files inside of it and drop it, it will ask me what type of zip it is, and I'll say shape zip. But it will not work as I have multiple files inside of it. So what I'll have to do is delete this and then upload all of the shape files one by one. So what I can do is here I've created a folder with one shape file inside of each zip. So for example, if I open barriers, here you'll see that I have just one shape file with all of the necessary files inside one zip. And now I can take all of the zip files. So select the first one, go all the way down, all the way to the last one, take all of them, the 29, and drop them all. And here, instead of clicking shape zip on each of them, what I can do is just click that button and that will enable it for all of those. And now you can see the files are verified as shape zip files, and so now they're all accepted. You can decide whether or not you wish to keep the original files as well. In my case, I will not because I have them on the side and I do not wish to be able to download the shape files afterwards. Then, once you're ready, what you can do is go down to send files, and once again, you can decide to receive an email once the conversion of all the files is done, which I will not do in my case. So I'll just click on send files. Once again, I'll put down upload and I can directly press enter. It requests for me to stay on this page while the zips are being sent, and here you can see they're going to be sent one by one. Each of them is not too large, so they will be sent fairly quickly, but you have to wait for all of them to have the little checkbox before you can change the page. So either you can click on OK of all of those, but it will reopen these files every time that a zip is uploaded. So I'll suggest you just wait for all of them to be uploaded and then just click OK on the last one. Nothing has changed anymore. I believe they've all been sent. Yes, that is correct. They're all correct, checked. So now what I can do is reload the page, Control F5, enter. And now if I go into files, I will find all of my shape zip files that are being uploaded. If I come back in a few minutes, all of them will have a checked status and I'll be able to visualize them into my viewer. Here into my shapefile project, I have all of my shapefiles that have been uploaded, and so they're all in active status now. And so if I go into the viewer, the project is going to load. The shapefiles are loaded as sources, and so they'll be visible by default onto the viewer. You don't have to load them onto the viewer as we do for resources. You'll have to wait a little bit for all of them to be loaded. Here the last one is coming in, and here you can see all of the shapefiles are perfectly loaded. Right, so now if I don't want to see all of them, but I might be wanting to concentrate on just a few of them, what I can do is remove them all, and then I'll just enable the ones that I want to see. Let's say I only want to concentrate on these types of transports, a train and then airplane. I can just enable just this. Now if I want to add the roads, I can just go there and enable the roads as well. And now I can see that the railways are in yellow, and then the roads are also in yellow. So what I can do is select the roads and change the color. So instead of yellow, let's say that the roads are going to be a bright pink, or maybe it's too light, so a green or a blue, like that. Whatever, you can really decide on which color you wish to use. Obviously, these are preset colors. If you prefer to use a personalized color, you can just directly enter the hexadecimal number right here, and you can do that with basically all of them. So now if I don't want my runways to be in yellow anymore, what I can do is just try to find them. So here is runway. Instead of that yellowish, I can put maybe a blue color or a purple, so we can see them a bit better, or maybe orange, whatever. You can decide which color you wish to use for every single one of the shapefiles. And so now you have each of them that is really separate. Now on to the resources. First we'll start with a standard IFC model, which is a classic one to upload, and basically the way to import a GLB, FBX, step file, and all of that is the same way as the IFC. So I'll just show you for the IFC and it will be the same for the others. So here I'll just click on this and go right here and select my IFC, which is right here. So I'll just click on it and open it. Here, as for the point clouds, I literally have nothing to click. I can just go right ahead and click on save original file if I want to be able to download my IFC. Otherwise I won't be able to download it later on, so I'll just do this so I can keep it. And that's pretty much it. Same thing, you can select if you wish to receive an email at the end of the conversion, or if you don't care, then send files, upload, and click on add. As for the point clouds, it will upload. This one being a small IFC will upload in just a few seconds. I can press OK and then reload the page to see the status of my file. Here you can see it's currently uploading, but I can leave the page, even close my computer and then come back in a few minutes or a few hours depending on the size of the model, and then visualize it onto the viewer. Here we can see my IFC has been uploaded, so it now has an active status. And so what I can do is go into the viewer and load it. For resources, you will have to load them onto the viewer. They will not be visible by default. Here I do have an information message telling me that I don't have any sources, that I only have resources, and so it's normal that I'm not going to see anything onto the viewer. So if I press OK, by default this window will be opened, and so now if I click add to viewer, it will add my model to the viewer directly. Here I can preview how it's going to be placed. The size looks pretty good. So I'm just going to click on import object. And so now I can see I have my model that has been imported into the viewer. And it's as easy as this to have a model in the viewer. Right here, you can see there was a shape that was created by default, just not for you to have nothing in the viewer, so you could have a visual of where is up and where is down. But now that I have my model, I can actually remove this. I don't need it anymore. And so now I have my IFC in the viewer. It's going to be the same thing for the other types of 3D models, so GLB, GLTF, and so on. All of these will have the exact same process. Now, if you do have a point cloud in your viewer before you import the model, you'll just have to go right here onto add object and then find your object to upload it onto the viewer. It will not offer you to have that window by default when you open it. That was just because I don't have a source inside of my project. I only have my model. That's why I had that window that popped up. Now let's take a look at how to upload an OBJ. So that's going to be a resource. I'm just going to go right here, click on it, and select the OBJ that I wish to upload, which is going to be test Dubai. Open. And here, as it's a zip, once more we'll have to select whether it's an RCP, 360 images, which is not either of those, but it is a mesh textured. Here I'll just click on mesh textured. It will make verifications that all of the files are actually there, and then I can decide whether I want to add it as a mesh texture, which means that it will be visible in the viewer once I load it, or if I want to upload it as an other file, which means that it won't be visible in the viewer, it will just be in the project so that anybody who has access to the project and has the right download files can retrieve the file onto their own computer. So in my case, of course, I'll go with mesh textured. Once more, you can select if you wish to keep the original zip file or if you don't care about keeping the zip, and you can decide whether or not you want to have an email once the file is ready to be viewed, and then you can click on send files. Of course, here I'll have to enter upload as every time, and finally I'll have to wait for the file to be sent before I can leave this page. Here it'll be fairly quick. It is sent. I can now reload the page, and then I'll have to go onto files. I have reloaded my page. I can go onto files, and I'll find it here with its status as in progress, and then in a few minutes, once the file is ready, it'll be invalidated. Now, after a few minutes, my file is now active, and so what I can do is go onto the viewer to visualize it. As for the IFC, I do not have any source on my project, and so the platform is going to request if I wish to add the OBJ directly, which in my case I will not. I just want to show you that by default, if I don't have anything in my viewer, so no source, and I have not loaded any resource, I'll have a little module like this just to show me what is up and what is down, so I can, kind of visualize where I am. But if you wish to add a model, you'll just go into project, add object, and then select your OBJ. Once the file has loaded into the viewer, what will happen is you will have an import new object window that will appear. We've seen that in another video, but basically it's just for you to set it in the correct rotation with the correct scale. So I won't bother you with that and jump directly to the results. My model has now appeared, and you can see it is fully textured. So I have the color of everything. If I go closer, I'm going to be able to see the textured. Obviously, this is not as precise as a point cloud would be, but I can still use it to measure gross heights. For example, if I want to measure the height of that building, I'm going to take a point at the very top and another one down at the bottom, and we can see it's a 265-meter high building. Finally, the last one, if you wish to upload a DXF, that will happen to the resources. So click on it, select your DXF, which is right here, open, and then upload it as you would for an IFC or pretty much any other type of 3D or 2D file. If you wish to keep the original DXF, you can select save origin file. If you don't, then don't click it. And if you wish to have an email when the file is ready to be viewed, you can check this or not. And then you just click on send files. Of course, you have to enter upload as per usual and then press enter. File is going to be sent, should only take a few seconds. Now it's ready, and if I press Ctrl F5 to reload the page, I will be able to visualize it into files right here. It is being uploaded. You should be able to visualize it in just a few minutes too. Don't forget to reload the page from time to time. After just a few minutes, my DXF has been uploaded. It has the checked status, and so now I can go into the viewer to visualize it. As for the IFC, it will not be displayed by default as it is a resource, and so as I don't have any source in my project, the viewer will offer me to directly load it. Whereas if I had sources, it would not offer me this page. I would have had to go through the menu up there. So here I've explained that into the IFC, but basically when you have no source, the viewer will automatically create a little shape so that you have a reference of what is up and what is down and so on and so on. So if I go right here and then add object, I can just select my DXF and add it to the app. Huge difference that you'll have between a DXF and a shapefile is the shapefile will be one per line. The DXF is actually one file that can contain all of them. So the shapefile that we uploaded before, you could have had one DXF for all of them, and then you can manage your different layers. So that means instead of having to select which shapefile you want to enable or not, here is just layers that you can activate or deactivate directly. And if you click on them, you can change their name, their color, and their height. So it's basically as the shapefile, but better.